Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We are going to totally reframe everything you thought you knew about building habits. We're going to look at consistency not as some innate character trait you're just born with, but as a strategic game. Welcome. You know the drill, right? You set a massive goal, you buy all the fancy gear, you start out super strong for, what, 3 days? And then those expensive running shoes just sit there collecting dust in the closet. Well, if you've been there, you are in the exact right place. We're going to decode the actual mechanics of why that happens, and more importantly, how to fix it.
So why do we always quit our new habits? Man, it's a painful question, isn't it? Usually we internalize the failure. We tell ourselves this highly negative story about our willpower. But listen, if you're struggling to stick to a routine, it is not because you're weak or lazy or undisciplined. It's actually just because you don't realize what level of the game you're playing. You literally don't know the rules of the level you're on right now. So yeah, of course you keep getting a game over.
Here is our roadmap for today. We'll start with the game of consistency, jump ahead to level 3, natural consistency, uncover the starting line trap, and then grind through level 1, forced consistency, and level 2, trained consistency, until we finally reach point 6, where consistency becomes your identity.
All right, Section 1, the game of consistency. Moving right along to Section 2, Level 3, natural consistency. This is that ultimate boss level we all secretly crave. Natural consistency is basically this automatic, steady, and silent action that's driven entirely by your brain's desire for survival and reward. To win this habit-building game, you've got to understand that consistency operates on 3 distinct difficulty levels, and each one has its own specific set of rules. So we're actually going to reverse engineer success today by looking at the end goal first. At this boss level, your brain views the task as absolute survival. You don't need alarms, you don't need fancy habit trackers, you definitely don't need to hype yourself up with a motivational video just to say brush your teeth in the morning, right? It's completely automatic. You just experience pure flow and seamless execution. Think about it like this. Our ancestors possessed literal superhuman consistency because, well, they didn't have the luxury of debating whether or not to go to the gym. For them, taking daily action meant surviving the winter. The clarity was absolute. Cook or starve, light a fire or freeze. Meanwhile, us modern humans, we set incredibly vague, honestly uninspiring goals like, I want to be healthy, or I should probably be more productive. Your brain does not see be healthy as a survival imperative. Since there's no immediate threat, your brain doesn't bother giving you that automatic, undeniable drive to lace up your sneakers. But here's the cool part. Today, we can actually still tap into this brain science by linking our habits to modern survival triggers. Things like identity, control and validation, freedom, legacy, and impact. Take entrepreneurs, for example. They will naturally work 16-hour days without anyone forcing them. Why? Because their brains have linked that intense work directly to emotional survival triggers, like freedom or legacy. Their brain is essentially screaming, if I don't build this business, my freedom dies. And boom, they achieve natural consistency. Which brings us to Section 3, the starting line trap. This right here is exactly why we quit. This is the fatal trap that derails pretty much every single New Year's resolution by what, the second week of January? It's expecting level 3 benefits without actually grinding through levels 1 and 2. People expect every brand new habit to feel automatic and effortless on day 1. They expect to just spring out of bed at 5 a.m. filled with joy instead of groaning and smashing the snooze button. So when it inevitably feels like a punishment, they quit. And worse, they incorrectly label themselves as lazy. But actually, they just haven't put in the reps to train their brain yet.
Let's jump into Section 4, Level 1, Forced Consistency.
Now this is where we all actually have to start, and yeah, it is notoriously difficult. This stage is characterized by super low dopamine, high resistance, and an internal system that runs strictly on sheer willpower. Rule 1 for this level is absolutely crucial. Pick exactly one habit. Just one. Your willpower is a lot like your phone battery. If you try to open 10 heavy apps like meditating, eating clean, learning a new language, and waking up at 5 a.m. all at the same time, your battery is going to drain before lunch. So don't try to change your entire life in a single week. Choose one single thing, direct all your battery power right there, and just let everything else wait.
The golden rule here is that you need to borrow dopamine. See, since your brain won't naturally reward you for this uncomfortable new habit, you have to manually borrow it. Your brain doesn't view going to the gym as a survival need yet, meaning you aren't going to get a natural hit of those feel-good chemicals. You basically have to hack the system and provide them yourself. Here is how you actually hack the game. You pair a high-friction activity, the painful task, with a guaranteed small pleasure. You're essentially teaching your brain that this difficult task feels good. For instance, if you're hitting the gym, pair it with listening to a brand new album you've been dying to hear. Waking up early? Treat yourself by throwing on your absolute favorite headphones and a great podcast. Finishing a grueling workout? Reward yourself right away with your favorite healthy smoothie. You are manually borrowing the dopamine from the smoothie or the music to make the friction of the workout stick. You just bribe your brain until it learns the ropes.
All right, on to Section 5, Level 2, Trained Consistency. If you can push through those first few weeks of forced consistency, you will feel a palpable shift, I promise. That agonizing internal debate of, should I go or not, quietly starts to fade away. Your habit has finally found a rhythm. Now, the single most important rule is this: don't chase intensity, chase continuity. This is really not the time to worry about hitting personal records or executing a flawless, perfectly optimized hour-long routine. It is entirely about keeping the streak alive.
When you show up tired or late, or even just half-hearted for a non-negotiable 10 minutes, look, you might not be building a ton of muscle, but you are sending undeniable proof to your brain that this habit is becoming who you are. Those 10 minutes are completely non-negotiable. It brilliantly shifts your brain's framework from "I'm trying to build a habit" to "this is simply what I do now." Whether it's a fantastic session or a downright terrible one, the simple act of doing it is what counts. You never break the chain.
And that brings us to Section 6. Consistency becomes your identity.
When that daily proof finally hardwires into your nervous system, your habit evolution is complete. All those messy, imperfect days compound into something truly incredible. Think about the breakdown. In the beginning, you relied entirely on that 20% chunk of sheer will back in Level 1. Then, you transitioned into the 30% of rhythm and proof in Level 2. But now, it makes up a massive 50% of your core identity. Your brain finally believes that you are the kind of person who shows up no matter what. It effortlessly bumps you right back to the natural consistency of Level 3, where the habit isn't a struggle anymore. It's just who you are.
So, I want to leave you with a direct challenge right now. Which single habit will you start at Level 1 today? Remember that battery rule we talked about? Just pick one thing that will solve your most pressing problem. Commit to playing the game starting from the very bottom. Don't go expecting Level 3 results today. Embrace the messy, frustrating grind of Level 1. Borrow that dopamine and watch your identity transform over time. Ask yourself, if you don't pick your habit today, what survival trigger are you letting slip away?